by a shady, wady pool.
Shangri-La, really la.
I'm wishing I could be that man.
I know people that knew him and worked with him. It's not quite the same. But you know, I watched all the tapes. I read it.
Good morning, everybody. We are in beautiful Red Wing beside the mighty Mississippi River, and we have a great audience. I just want to say hello to all of you here this morning. Thanks for joining us today.
Take a look at this great crowd.
This is impressive. Mighty impressive.
You know, Kim,
Isn't that great? I have to tell you, I wasn't hopeful that there would be a lot of people be able to come down here.
I knew it last night. It was pouring, and we took a cruise down the mighty Mississippi on a houseboat last night. Pouring rain. And I said, it's going to be a nice morning. I just had a feeling it would be, and indeed it is.
We're in Levee Park, which if you haven't been, well, everybody's been to Red Wing. Why wouldn't you come to Red Wing? We're right behind the St. James Hotel, and then tonight at 5 and 6, Paul, Pat, Ken, and Diana will be up the river at Bay Point Park. So you want to be sure to tune in for that. And we're here for the eve of the 50th fishing opener. Yeah, Governor's fishing opener.
Yes, which is big excitement, of course, because you know what a winner the governor is as far as fishing goes. We'll get more into that. But it gets
the crowd's cute into that
even better in a little while. We're going to actually get some tips from some anglers that know what they're doing.
And we're worse than the governor, let me tell you. An easy drive. It's about a little over an hour away from the Twin Cities. Very well worth your drive. Beautiful drive. We came in on 61 and go along the river. There's just wonderful, wonderful things to see. I enjoyed it immensely, even in the rain. Red Wing is a wonderful town, about 16,000 people, and which is about the size of my hometown. We're right along the railroad tracks, and I think we have a train coming through here. This is the Goodhue County seat, and the name of the city comes from a Dakota Sioux chief whose emblem was the wing of a swan colored scarlet, so it is called Red Wing. And this is one of the gems of Minnesota right here, I think.
It indeed is, and some of the friendliest people here.
Right, we were very fortunate because the crew stayed at the St. James Hotel. The St. James Hotel.
Very nice.
This is a wonderful hotel. The staff has treated us so well. We had a beautiful breakfast this morning. The rooms are exquisite.
Beautiful antiques. If you love antiques, you'd love that.
So if you've never stayed at the St. James Hotel, take a look at what you're missing.
This is the original lobby that was used by guests in 1875 when the hotel opened. And they could register here at the desk, and you can see the wonderful old safe that is in its original position. Now we're looking at the Victorian dining room as it is named now. It's a room that seats about 60 people. And it has many lovely antiques. We offer 60 elegantly decorated guest rooms here at the St. James. Every room is decorated differently.
Our tour guide this morning is Carrie Becker, who's with the Red Wing Heritage Preservation Commission. We're standing outside the Red Wing Train Depot, which is right on the banks of the mighty Mississippi. You know, this is as nice a depot as I've ever seen. Tell us about it, Carrie.
This is the Chicago-Milwaukee-St. Paul Railroad Depot. It was constructed in 1905 and recently restored. It functions as the visitor center, the Chamber of Commerce offices, and Amtrak stops twice a day.
The sense of history inside is very special. Tell us about that.
It does. It carries through.
This intersection has been called the most architecturally significant corner in Minnesota, and you can see why. This is an 1868 French Empire house. And on this corner, a Purcell and Elmsley house. The Prairie-style house was built in 1913. And talk about rare, check out this 1857 Octagon house.
Red Wing doesn't just treasure its homes, there's also a big commitment to preserving and restoring public buildings. This is the T.B. Sheldon Memorial Auditorium.
It was constructed in 1904 and is thought to be the first municipally owned playhouse in the United States. A local grain merchant had left money in his estate to the city.
We have the best audience today. This is wonderful. You know, if you go through Red Wing in spring and summertime, you might have noticed the wonderful hanging baskets from the lampposts and whatnot. They are made here in Red Wing at Sargent's Nursery, and this morning Bob Lewis from Sargent's Nursery is going to show us how to put these together. I've only seen these in one other city, and they weren't as nice as this, and it was Victoria, British Columbia. And you have just the most beautiful baskets here, so thanks
Thank you very much.
How did this come to be?
That's actually where we got the idea, from Victoria, British Columbia.
Well, you did it better then.
Thank you very much. Phil Rivor, who's a local photographer, was vacationing in Victoria, and he saw the baskets, he enjoyed them, he knew that his Kiwanis Club, Noontime Kiwanis Club, was looking for a project. So he brought the idea back and presented it to Kiwanians. They thought the idea was good, they talked to the city, they talked to us, and in 1990, we started with 24 baskets.
Wow. I'm sitting here with Red Wing Mayor Romeo Sear, and thank you so much for joining us today.
Well, thank you so much for being here in Red Wing. We're just very excited that you're here and broadcasting from our beautiful river.
We're loving it. You have so many events going on this weekend. Clue us into a few.
We just there's something for everybody. If you're a runner, there's going to be a race tomorrow morning. We have biking.
That's the replica, Pat. Yes, that's the replica.
I also have would like to present both of you with a pin, and Kim, this means that you and I are going to the prom.
All right. Thank you,
What color?
Mayor, she's taken.
We can negotiate. Well-known businesses call Red Wing home. Even if you've never been to Red Wing, I know you've heard of Red Wing Shoes, Rydell Shoes, Jostens, just a number of the big names here. But more than 100 years ago, and you've probably heard of this too, another industry dominated Red Wing, and its artistic legacy can still be seen today. More than 100 years ago, pottery put Red Wing on the map. Goodhue County was rich in natural clay deposits, and local German immigrants knew a thing or two about making pottery.
One of those German immigrants settled in Red Wing and started the salt glaze operation here, which really gave birth to the pottery industry that flourished in Red Wing for a century.
And flourish it did. In the late 1800s, rivals Red Wing Stoneware and North Star Stoneware made pottery a bustling and profitable industry. They eventually merged and created a national market for their jars, crocks, and other creations. The prosperity continued until the 1960s. That's when foreign competition and labor troubles brought an end to the industry on a large scale.
Just while those burners are going, the potters will take a cup full of salt, and there's salt ports around the kiln, and they'll throw in salt and introduce that into the fire, and the salt breaks down and then becomes the glaze on the pot.
Scott Gilmer is the third-generation president of Red Wing Pottery. He says the salt glaze pottery made today is a replica of what was produced a century ago. You can recognize historic salt glaze by its characteristic orange peel finish. Here, we want to introduce you this morning to the governor's fishing guide, Ralph Dirks, who's here with us this morning, and Terry Tuma from Outdoor News, and they'll be with the governor tomorrow for the big day, the big opener. And what do you think the governor's chances are, Ralph?
I think his chances are very good.
Yeah?
Terry and I have been out a couple days pre-fishing, and it's looking good.
Did you plant any along the way that just with their mouths open that he might be able to hook? Or?
No, not really, no, but I think he's going to do very good.
Ralph, and Terry, I got to share with you, the governor and I have something in common. Not necessarily political affiliations, parties, or any of that kind of stuff. I'm a loser. And I just really can't quite do it. Would you kind of demonstrate for us what you're going to show the governor, so we can finally sink and win one?
Well, this is one of our secrets, we hope. This is a dual rig and a jig on this here. We drag this on the bottom.
Welcome back to Red Wing. We have some exciting news, everybody, because remember the medallion hunt that Mayor Sear was telling us about? We have a winner.
It's been found.
Yeah, Jennifer. Yeah, isn't that great? And so they're going to present, yes, the winner. You are Jennifer?
I'm Jennifer Brigham from Midtown Staffing Services here in town. We're one of the sponsors of the fishing opener and the medallion hunt, and we have a winner this morning.
This is so cool. You are?
Sue Northey.
Sue Northey, where'd you find it?
Backside of Memorial, the sign marking the entrance to the cross-country ski trail.
How long have you been out looking for this? Just a few minutes, huh?
About 20 minutes.
Were you surprised to find it?
Yes, I was.
Common, can you hear me?
Yes. Yes, I can.
I'm going to talk about
Say, by the way, is it okay with your folks if I move in next January?
You'll never catch a fish.
I'll never catch a fish. But at least I'm not that guy. What a loser.
Saturday's the day in Red Wing.
Your ears buzz when you crack through that chocolate shell. Your nose tingles over hot fudge surrounding that DQ soft serve. Your tongue does the tango. It's cold, it's hot, it's crunchy, it's toasted up.
The honest truth is, the fish and I have a truce.
You do, you just...
I don't bug them, they don't bug me. We get along just fine.
You get bugged enough in St. Paul, don't you?
I get bugged enough in St. Paul, that's right.
Now, what do you do down here tonight and tomorrow? What goes on?
Oh, I don't know. I'll tell you, there's a whole variety of activities. Everything from fishing, biking, trailing, boating. There's going to be, the high school is putting on a wonderful performance of Oklahoma tomorrow, so I plan to take that in. There'll be a community dinner. It's a very serious affair, very, very serious affair.
It's a great time for you to bond with people.
Yeah, we have Boone and Erickson, and you know how strict they are. Exactly. Yes, very somber.
Well, I have a question for you, Governor. I know you've never caught a fish during the opener.
Well, that's just a
But
wild
have you
rumor.
ever caught a fish?
Have I ever caught a fish? The honest truth is I have.
You have?
Yeah, I really and truly have.
There you have
it.
There it is right there.
Secret's out.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to suggest I'm a great fisherman or anything else. But was the picture there?
That was it.
That was it.
There's proof.
And once that
What more do you
picture's
need?
destroyed, that's it. There's no other proof that you've ever caught a fish.
Well, my record is broken.
Yeah. Well, you know what? We appreciate you coming on here with us and
this
have
is
fun tomorrow. We certainly do hope you
And
catch
good
a
luck.
fish.
Well, I thank you people very much
Yeah.
for this.
And thank you, Red Wing, and everybody for coming down and
Thanks,
joining us.
everyone.
They're great people. They really are.
Despite the rain and the lightning, there are a lot of eager anglers here watching the clock very carefully because at midnight, the 50th annual Minnesota Fishing Opener begins. The governor cruised to Red Wing in style aboard a paddle boat. The governor's reputation is on the line. As you mentioned, he has never caught a fish in 7 other fishing openers, although he does claim to have caught a fish sometime in his life. We're not sure about that. In fact, he says by now he and the fish have kind of an understanding. He won't bug them and they won't bug him. Now those anglers will set out tomorrow with full bellies. Red Wing hosted a free chicken dinner in Bay Point Park, and a lot of people who were there hope tomorrow night they're frying up a big pile of fish. Now, besides the wonderfully quaint shops, the restaurants, and a world-class hotel, Red Wing is also known for something else, something quite powerful. NSP's Prairie Island nuclear power plant. Is NSP really a welcome neighbor to nearby Red Wing? KARE 11's Alan Constantini explores the unique relationship between the river town and nuclear energy.
For me personally, it's a little scary to have atomic energy just so close to the community and so close to the waterway, too. I mean, the Mississippi is a beautiful piece of water.
Red Wing rests serenely in the shadow of its landmark river bluffs. But just upriver, contained and controlled violence dominates the center of the Great River Valley. It's the nuclear fission in the twin reactors at NSP's Prairie Island power plant.
I think the plant and the Northern States Power Company works very hard at being a good neighbor, both to the communities that surround us as well as the neighboring tribal community. 450 full-time employees, and I would say probably 60% of those live in Red Wing.
Of course, no one really does not appreciate the fact that the plant pays a tremendous amount of our property taxes here in Red Wing.
The distant steam from the cooling towers drops a cool $23 million into Red Wing, Goodhue County and the school district tax coffers, easily the biggest taxpayer in the county.
Many Native Americans continue to have concerns about the nuclear power plant. On May 19th, Minnesota lawmakers and federal officials will meet with tribal leaders to discuss some of those management issues. That is the latest. Here from Red Wing, Eric Perkins is also here. He'll have more.
Nothing. And he's been on these Northern Lights.
He's become a statewide celebrity.
You've probably had more press than this than the governor has.
I'm sure I have.
Owner of the Four Seasons sports shop, Ralph Durix, has been fishing the river for 30 years. He knows what to throw out there to snag some walleye tomorrow.
Leeches and crawlers, on some type of a three-way rig. But there is one special thing we're going to take along with us, and we're not telling anybody until we'll see what happens.
It's a secret.
We are joined by the two guys with all the pressure.
He and longtime pal Terry Tuma know the pressure's on to break the streak, but they're confident, almost cocky.
Oh, definitely. There's no question about it, especially with the time factor. I'm sure we're going to catch fish.
Do not fret, Governor Carlson. No more fear. 0 for 7's coming to an end. These your guys, huh?
We all know how frustrated Governor Carlson has been the last 7 openers. Well, guess what? He caught something today. The governor cast his line into the Mississippi early this morning near Red Wing, and we were there when he reeled in a 10-inch sauger. He had to throw it back. It wasn't a keeper. So once again, no walleye.
But you can't blame us. We don't want to miss the big moment. As for the competition,
the governor went south. We're going to head north.
Minnesota 9 News.
The state governor's annual fish opener event is a Minnesota tradition to encourage summer tourism.
Every year, more than 1 million people buy licenses. That's no fishtail. Tonight in Minnesota Bound, Ron Shera shows us why reeling in the big one is more than a pastime.
Fishing isn't a season in Minnesota. It's a lifestyle on more than 6,000 fishing lakes. Polls show 6 out of 10 Minnesotans wet a line every year. Instead of kissing babies, our politicians hold fish. The summer's over, some 1.5 million folks, including 400,000 out-of-state visitors, will buy Minnesota fishing licenses. And that's not all. This year, anglers will spend an estimated $1.8 billion on everything from bait to boats to lodging, just to catch a fish.
Our own governor, Ralph John Fritz.
The fish haven't got a prayer.
Arnie Carlson, a man who holds the most political power in the state. But even that wasn't enough to keep him from running his streak to 8 straight years without catching a walleye.
We're all fairly big. We threw the 16 small ones away.
And sticks don't count. Maybe Arnie should be lobbying for sticks of dynamite.
If we lose, it's no big deal.
But other anglers weren't about to follow the leader.